This has never been a problem before, though, so I'm very confused.
Include this, though. It's going to start with, what the fuck is happening?
Oh, my God.
I can't figure it out. And they'll be like, this is Steve Down.
Fuck you. You know what I'm doing? You know what's happening right now? Hold on. This is the intro you guys get.
Okay. Playing it through the phone. Doing bad. Life so hard. Oh, no. TV, what? You need help with your software engineering degree? Because we can help. But there's also like GPT exists. You have no excuse.
Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief.
Okay, cool. That's what we'll do. But then Anthony will replace it in post.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, I'm gonna play it from below. So, oh no, you're gonna see the phone no matter what. Whatever.
It's okay. Who cares?
This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief.
Okay, I have to hold it in front.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're not janky, I promise.
This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. Welcome to Quality Time, the KO Koala Entertainment Podcast. Anthony and Skylar will take it from here. Master Chief, out, out, out.
Welcome to Quality Time, the KO Koala Entertainment Podcast. I'm Skylar Sokol.
I'm Anthony Nicolosi.
I'm Joshua Broncoli.
I'm Sean Stevens.
I'm Nico Boyadjin.
And here we are at our first podcast of 2024 and of 2023, I think.
Yeah, outside of the last game of the year one.
Yeah.
There's been nothing.
But here we are. If you're watching this in not live, you will see me holding a phone, but you'll hear crystal clear intro audio. So that's the magic of editing. But for all you in the chat, you're welcome. This is actually the first time the chat has ever been able to hear the intro live. So this was actually better than normal. Just saying.
That's true. That's true. For the live audience, that is true.
So what are we doing here today, Anthony? Normally I host the Game of the Year podcast, but we're doing something a little different this year. You want to
We're doing something a little different this year because I haven't played shit this year. So Skylar, do you want to first say what the criteria for... Okay, what we're doing is we're going to go through our games of the year. Everybody on this podcast, except for me, actually plays games. It's a concern for sure, but it is what it is. What was the criteria for games getting on this list, Skylar?
Yeah, so this is the same criteria we've used every year, and the criteria I like. It may change eventually, but basically the rules are you get your top 5 games that you beat for the first time in 2023. Or if it's a multiplayer game, it has to be one you played a significant amount of in 2023 for the first time. You also get 2 honorable mentions, which don't have to follow those rules, but it has to be a game you played in 2023 that wasn't on a previous list or anything like that. So that's the rules. It doesn't have to have come out in 2023. That just has to be when you beat it for the first time. So a little more flexible.
And multiplayer games that you played for the first time is very important to emphasize because I did play my classics. Halo,
well, I would
Rocket
count
League.
those, but they can't have been on a previous list. That's the rule that those are violating.
Yeah, that's true. And they're really violating. That's all they ever do. And Halo and Rocket League continue to be awesome.
They're doing great
when I play.
All right, now let's get to the real games.
Let's get to the real meat and potatoes. So we need to start really, I think, with the honorable mentions because we are going to go from least hype to most hype, bust out of your pants cool stuff at the end. So let's go in order of studio seniority here. Okay. Right. Skylar, first honorable mention. Let's hear it.
Are you calling me old?
Yeah.
Wow.
In more ways than one. I mean, True. What are we? We are coming up on 2018 March was the month the end year that we founded KO Koala. So we're coming up on 6 years.
Crazy. So my first honorable mention, I went a lot of ways on this, and I decided to just throw this in there. Otherwise, I was going to have a secret third honorable mention, which felt like cheating. So my first honorable mention is Alan Wake 2. I've played a reasonable amount of it, and by reasonable, I mean like maybe a quarter of it, but I really like what I've played so far. And I wanted it to be on here because it's not on my list, and people would probably wonder why, because I really like games like that, but that's why, because I haven't beaten it yet. So hopefully it can get its real recognition in 2024.
Fair. Josh, first one?
My first honorable mention is Void Stranger.
That was my other one, and I removed it.
Oh, perfect. Actually, I believe you did recommend the game to me, Skylar. So yeah, appropriate. Actually, this game probably would be on my top 5 list, except I don't feel like I've played enough. I only got to the end once, and it was a bad ending, so I don't really count that. But I've had a lot of fun with it. Very interesting puzzle style game. A lot of fun, and surprisingly, a lot of story.
Yeah, good narrative.
You know why it's not higher on Josh's list? Because you didn't just get aimlessly lost for no reason. He loves that shit.
You get aimlessly lost in that game. You beat the game, and the game's like, yo, you didn't do shit. Like, figure out how to actually beat the game. Yeah,
really. Okay. The reason that it's not on my list is because my first playthrough that I completed was a playthrough where I just got lost basically and didn't complete anything.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Well, very well. Sean.
My first is Darkest Dungeon 2. Yeah, I played it in early the year, and I realized it was like all I played that 1 month that it came out. Really fun, not as good as the first one, but a worthy successor.
Way better than you felt about it in early access.
Yes.
I think you sent me that Steam page, maybe, or something. Maybe. What time? Yeah, I kind of remember. Okay, Nico, do you have an honorable mention?
I do.
Shit. Okay.
So it's gonna be Returnal. You guys ever heard of it?
Yep.
It's pretty sweet. I've been wanting to play it for a long time, but it was a PS5 exclusive for like the first year or so. And
that's right.
I got a new PC this year, so I thought, why not pick it up? And it's incredible. You know, it's a roguelike game, so it's taking me a while to actually finish, and it's really difficult, but I'm having a blast with it.
Shout out to Returnal's fucking pause menu and its options. That is some good stuff. That's a good one. It's Unreal too. Hey, but it's Unreal 4, so we can't straight copy it, but it's good. I would be very happy with their options menu. Okay. All right, boys. All right, so then the closest to the top 5 honorable mention, Skylar, what is it?
So mine it's 2 games, but they're sequels to each other. It's Myst and Riven. I played Myst for the first time in 2023. I don't know why. It's not within my normal wheelhouse of games because I don't like point and click games, but I just really wanted to play something really hard and puzzly, and I loved it. And that actually sent me down a train playing a bunch of kind of puzzly games like that, which it was great. I don't know. Myst is super cool. There's a remastered version that lets you actually walk around rather than having to use the point and click or anything like that. I didn't play that version because I didn't know it existed until after I beat it. But it was great. It was really fun. Maybe the oldest game I've ever beaten, potentially.
Do you know when it came out?
I'll tell. Go move on, and I'll tell you after everyone else's honorable mention.
Joshman, what is closest to the top 5?
All right, so this, I don't know if this is breaking the rules or not, but the reason this is an honorable mention is because it's a demo, but it's a demo of a game that I'm highly anticipating when it comes out. Is Arcane Assembly, which is a bullet hell Metroidvania where you can use a built into the game kind of plug and play programming language to make your own spells.
What the hell? That sounds sick.
Crazy.
Yeah, I played the demo and it was a ton of fun, and it was an X Fest demo, so I don't think it's still out, unfortunately. But I'm very much looking forward to when it actually comes out.
Do they need? I need to get in touch with their marketing department. How can they pull their demo down, bro? A
lot of Next Fest demos are only up during Next Fest.
I know, but that's cringe. Keep that shit up.
Yeah. Bad idea. Don't do that. Yeah. What if we were? Imagine if 1,000 people were just watching us and you just said that.
True.
See what I'm saying? Keep that fucking demo up. Anyway, Shonald.
My honorable mention is a game called Infernax. It's essentially like inspired by like the old Castlevania types of games. It was a good modern version of it, and it was pretty fun.
Oh yeah,
nice. Okay, Nico.
So this one would be up there in the top 5. I just haven't beaten it. Dave the Diver. I really liked it. I just like the 2 different like modes in it, where the roguelike mode where you like grab all the fish, and then the other mode where you're actually managing the restaurant and like hiring people and stuff. I just love the contrast between those 2 like gameplay types, and I just thought it was a lot of fun. Definitely.
Nico, is it indie? Is it indie?
It is indie.
No,
it's not. It's not indie.
No. It's made by an enormous Korean company.
It's a great game. I don't care.
It's Nexon.
I'm telling you that because it showed up in the indie awards for Game
No, that shit. That shit
a
was
lot of
so
people
sick.
complained about it.
Yeah, it had a huge budget. Anyway, the really important thing about it, though, is that yesterday they announced Godzilla DLC for it, which I wanted to tell Sean about because he loves Godzilla.
Which is not worth replaying for it, I'm sure, though. But
yeah, I don't know how it'll integrate with the game.
But that's cool, Nico. I wasn't giving you shit for your choice. I was giving the game Jeff Keighley shit for being a douchebag. Okay. Yep. Number 5. Skylar, what made the top 5 list for, quote, the Jimi Hendrix of design? What?
Number 5 is a game I never expected to really enjoy playing or to really stick with me. But holy shit, have I played a ton of this game this year and loved every second of it. And anytime someone's like, do you want to play this game? I'm like, yes. And that game is Lethal Company. Lethal Company is an unbelievably good game. Solo developer who has implemented like the best proximity voice chat I've ever experienced in a game. And like most games that have, like Battlefield's proximity voice chat is like awful compared to this game's proximity voice chat. Like, I don't know how this man made this game alone and made it this good. So it's great. I'm excited for more.
Every time I think of like any small issue, I'm just like, oh yeah, it was made by one person, and the issues are just like so minor.
Yeah. It's and
Roblox stuff.
The proximity voice chat is like the best I've ever experienced. It's one guy. How? I don't understand.
I actually only watched it for the first time the other day on some dudes who is in chat on his stream.
Well, we got to get a KO Koala play.
KO Koala Lethal Company would be pretty fun. That game is just goofy as fuck.
Maybe we could get that going this year. That will be our second stream of 2024.
There you go. Okay, Josh, bottom of the barrel of good.
All right. So my number 5 is Fire Emblem Engage, which I'm a big Fire Emblem fan, so not really a surprise.
Yeah, I expected 3 Fire Emblems on this list. Yeah.
It is a return to form in a lot of senses for the franchise. It has very solid gameplay, a lot of nostalgia hits because it brings back a whole bunch of old characters. A lot of fun. Story doesn't take itself too seriously. Unlike the previous 3 Houses, which took itself incredibly seriously. I had a lot of fun with it. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I enjoyed it.
Right on, man. Hey, who gives a fuck? It's a lot of people's cup of tea. Okay. And probably a lot of those people who play do love tea as well. Anyway, Sean, number 5.
All right. So I just have to preface just to say the beginning of the year, I played 2 franchises a lot. And so the first one was Castlevania. I basically played every single 2D Castlevania that exists. The beginning of the year.
5, or you're just saying?
No, that I'm just saying. And out of those, my favorite one was Castlevania Rondo of Blood. This one was for the PC Engine CD, which is a crazy console because the US release like strips down all anyway. But that game, it's like the graphics were insane and they perfected like the run to the right smack stuff. And it was awesome.
Right on, man.
Nice.
Okay. So far, somebody is going to also win the award at the end. Don't change your answers for this, but somebody's going to win the award at the end of most games I've never heard of on their list. Sean's in the lead.
Oh,
Nico.
So before I start, I just want to say that I poured in like 500 plus hours to Apex, and I recently fell off like within this year. And the game that like kind of brought me back into multiplayer shooters is Finals. I've been playing that a lot.
Okay.
And I just think it's great. I just wish they would add quads. That's like my only issue with it. I kind of hate that it's only trios. But I just love the pacing of that game. And I think the game mode itself is just very unique. And I haven't really seen it done anywhere else. It's just like a mixture of like domination, capture the flag. It's pretty crazy. I've been having a blast with it.
I just wish there were more maps. Like, I feel like they did a bad. They should have been ready at the gun to release more content if that game popped off, and it popped off, and they did nothing.
Yeah, it lost 83% of its player base.
Yeah, unfortunate. But that's normal. That's very normal for multiplayer.
It's like
games,
every game like that, except for the top 1% or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm still playing, so I don't care.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, so now we are nice and settled. Skylar, number 4.
Number 4 is a game that I never expected to beat in my life or appear on a top list in my life because I made a point of not liking these games. That game is Dark Souls 3, which I beat for the first time in 2023. Basically,
so happy for that.
Winter break, I guess you call it, rolled around. I had 2 weeks off of work. And during those 2 weeks, I just went completely ham on Dark Souls 3. I beat the whole game during that time. Let's see, how many hours do I have? 36 hours over that 1.5 week period.
It's actually impressive beat time.
And I beat all the optional bosses except for one, and I don't know, I loved it. I had an amazing time. I don't know why I decided to play it, but it just felt right, and that game is fantastic. I'm really excited for if they release the Demon Souls remaster on PC. I would totally play that one, and for future FromSoft adventures. Probably the next one I would go ham on is Sekiro if I had another time to want to beat one of them that I've played but never beat.
So good.
Yes, are you going backwards? Technically, you beat Elden Ring, you beat 3.
Yeah, technically I am going. Well, Sekiro is in between,
What
so
has technically been in between?
I didn't go in the right order, but yes, I am. I'm going a little backwards.
Right on.
And then if I did Demon Souls Remastered, I'd be going in a really crazy order.
No,
so.
I am surprised. I am surprised it's on this list.
I was too, but it's so fun.
Okay, right on. Josh?
All right. So if I had a nickel for every tactical RPG with French-inspired designs from a giant publisher that I'm a huge fan of, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. My number 4 is Persona 5 Tactica. And this I put above Fire Emblem Engage because after playing Fire Emblem Engage long game, I was kind of burnt out on tactical RPGs for a while. And this game is so easy to pick up. It is really short form fights, unlike, kind of the longer ones of Fire Emblem. Gets kind of right to the action, doesn't have long drawn out parts in between. It was a very, I would say, condensed game in comparison to Fire Emblem Engage, but I think that played to its strength. And it was a very kind of fresh, maybe not new, but I don't play a whole lot of different styles of tactical RPGs. So compared to Fire Emblem, this was something that I hadn't really seen too much before. So I had a whole ton of fun with it. And it's also with a cast that I am a huge fan of. From Persona 5, I mean, big fan, so no surprise. Again, I was actually really not sure to put them both on the list because they're so similar, but I just felt like I had to, bring them up together,
So not even kidding. When I thought about your list, I was like, there's probably a Persona game, there's probably a Fire Emblem game. And I was like, I don't even know if they come out that often, but there's enough of them. You probably played something.
A new Persona just came out yesterday, right?
Comes out tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Or midnight tonight. If I was not dying of sleep deprivation, I would wait up to midnight to play it, but I will not be doing that.
Damn.
Take care of it this weekend. Yeah.
All right, Sean, number 4.
All right, so the second retro series that I played a shit ton of at the beginning of the year was The Legend of Zelda.
Oh.
So the one that stood out to me of the ones I played was Twilight Princess. I really enjoyed the 3D style, and I really enjoyed the darker. It had a much darker setting. The world was a lot darker, and the dungeons were just really good. I thought it would be worse than it was, but it was really fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Did you play Tears of the Kingdom this year?
No, I have not played that.
I was just checking if that was on because
I also didn't play Ocarina of Time and stuff, but
But you haven't?
Oh, Ocarina of Time.
No, I actually haven't beaten it ever.
That one's cool.
I tried to play it this year, but I was so burnt out because I played like
Bro,
5 other
I
Zeldas
have
this year. I was like,
beat Ocarina of
forget it.
Time.
I tried.
Damn. A game that Anthony's beat
that's
that
saying
Sean
something.
hasn't is very
That's-
rare.
That's extremely rare.
I loved Ocarina of Time. It's
It's
why
a great
I
game.
Well, Twilight
started
Princess is
playing-
like the same formula, right? It's like the GameCube version of it.
Okay.
I think that's why a lot of people maybe don't like it as much, but
Range.
I liked it.
Right on. Okay, Nico.
So speaking of GameCube, I grew up playing a ton of Pikmin 1 and 2.
Oh.
And I gotta put Pikmin 4 up there. Pikmin 4 is incredible. It just looks beautiful, especially like playing handheld on the Switch. They just, I don't know, it just looks so good.
Is it new?
Yeah,
Is that the
this
new
year.
one?
Yeah,
Okay.
came out this year. And I just love the gameplay. I love like walking around I forgot the name of the dude, but you can have all your Pikmin on this like one little dog, and you just go around the map. It's awesome. I had a great time with it.
Dash in chat, by the way. Sorry, I missed this. Sean, he says Twilight Princess is his favorite game of all time.
Wow.
Well, it wasn't that good.
What the hell?
Whoa. Let him have it, Dash. Yeah.
All right.
But right on, Pikmin. I like being like fucking around in Super Smash with Pikmin, so it's like same thing. You know?
Olimar, not Pikmin.
Yeah.
Olimar, that's right. But his little Pikmins are around.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, okay.
No, I do want to pick it up because I put the demo and it is great.
Okay.
Yeah, it got very high praise this year.
It's
way
so
higher than
good.
I would have ever expected.
It's worth playing
I
for
heard
sure.
it was good.
It's probably one of the best games on the Switch, I'd say.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
Better than
Okay.
Tears of the Kingdom. I said it.
Whoa.
It's
Oh, that's
on
them
his
fighting
list.
words.
Yeah.
Them fighting words.
Skylar, number 3.
Number
His top 3. Ooh,
3.
good.
So this is another game not released this year, and then we're going in releases this year again for my top 2. My number 3 game is a very short game called very inexpensive game called Before Your Eyes. It is a narrative like walking simulator style game where you turn your webcam on and it tracks when you blink. And the core concept of the game is that you're experiencing like the memories of the main character's life, but when you blink, it like skips forward in time. So you have to like try to not blink if you want to like see the whole memory, but then you accidentally blink and you like miss some. And it's pretty poignant, right? Because like it's very hard to actually accurately remember anything, and that sort of is simulating that. And just the narrative of that game was unbelievably good. Like one of the best stories and some of the best writing I've ever seen in a game. It like went in directions I didn't expect, and like maybe one of the saddest games I've ever played.
That's what I heard.
But
I heard it's very emotional.
there was a review that's like, good luck not blinking while you're crying for the entire second half of the game, that I thought was fitting, but it's amazing. Anyone who likes narrative games should play. It takes like 2 hours to beat, and it was
What was it called again?
Before Your Eyes.
2 hours of not blinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my contacts are fucked. Yeah.
Play that shit. Everyone should play
Interesting,
it.
though. That's a really cool idea. Really cool.
Yeah.
Joshman, number 3.
All right, my number 3 is not a new game. Is a game that I've had for a long time that I never played. Is Octopath Traveler.
One, the first one.
The first one. The reason that I played it is because the second one came out and I realized that I never beat the first one. So I went back and started over and played the entire game. And it is great. A lot of people say that's very grindy. And I thought so also, but I realized that grinding doesn't help you as much as you think it does in that game. It's like more of like you have to like think about like certain bosses and like how to like prep
I
for
love
them.
that game's art style. It's so good.
It is great.
I love the 2.5
It is
D is
good.
what they're calling it, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's very nice.
Yeah.
Pixel art.
Towards the end of the game, I like hit a wall and I tried grinding and it didn't help. And I realized that I was not playing optimally. And it makes a huge difference when you like think about your build a little bit.
Yeah, and
If I
I've
was a
heard
kid,
the
I would play
second
that.
game only made it better. So I think it'll be interesting to hear what you think
I
of
have
that one.
started the second game.
Ooh.
We'll see if it gets
We'll
on
see
my
it
list
on
next
year's
year.
list. Yeah. Okay. Right
Cool.
on. Octopus Traveler.
Yep, that's the
number
name.
3.
All right, so my number 3 has
man.
been mentioned already, but it is also Dave the Diver.
Woo! I figured it'd be on
Ooh.
there.
Yeah, Dave the Diver. 1, it's like a perfect Steam Deck game. 2, the loop was really engaging to me, and it was like a game that I It was like really good for like playing a little bit and like putting down, but I just like kept playing it. And it was really fun. The story was like cute and funny. The graphics were good. The studio is extremely small, so they did very good with resources. No, just kidding. It was a good game, and it deserved all the praise it got, except for the fact that they lied about being an indie studio. So
make a game with pixel art, and people will think you're an indie studio.
I know, that's the thing. People are like this, but it had my biggest complaint was they added too much shit, like the farm thing. Like fuck, I don't fucking get shit. Like layered on too many mechanics.
Spoiling it.
Spoilers.
I've gone to the farm.
It was worth it.
Bleep
It
it out.
was good.
Cut
No,
it.
was
Cut
a
it.
good game. It was all good.
Cut it. Now people know there's farming in a fucking crafting game.
Right on. Okay. Nico the diver.
Nice.
Okay. So I've only played Resident Evil 7 and 8. I haven't touched any of the earlier ones. So I decided to pick up the Resident Evil 4 remake this year.
Oh, nice.
And it was worth the money. I loved every single second of that. I'm probably gonna play it again on a harder difficulty, but I just thought it was so fun, and like the story itself was just great. And yeah, I highly recommend it. I just feel like there's just a lot of stressful moments in that game when you're being followed by a ton of zombies and you have no ammo. You just have to run. I just thought it was great.
Play that one.
It's so good.
I've enjoyed the last few I've played.
Yeah, Sean and I played Village together, and it was really fun.
Yeah, and I played
Village
Resident
is
Evil 2
amazing.
remake this year or something, or last year.
Oh, if you like the 2 remake, 4 is just 2 on steroids. Like
That's
it's
what I
so
figured.
good.
Yeah.
Right on. Right on. Okay. Ooh, getting spicy. The top 2. Oh, my second is Rocket League this year. Skylar, what's yours?
Mine is my most played game this year. By far my most played game this year. I only have 40 hours on Steam, but with time I've played at the arcade and at friends' houses, it's probably closer to 300 to 400 hours, maybe more. And that is Street Fighter 6. That's right. Yep. Amazing. One of the best fighting games ever made. I did not like Street Fighter 5. There hasn't been a fighting game that's actually like gripped me in a while, besides like old ones at the arcade, like Street Fighter Third Strike. This game, Street Fighter 6, was amazing. The way they did the mechanics was fantastic. The only problem is that they decided they wouldn't balance the game for the first year it was out. They would wait a full year. So we're getting close to when they're going to release the first balance patch. And
That's crazy.
they also released the DLC really slowly. So those two things are kind of killing the game, in my opinion, for me. So it'll be interesting when that patch comes out, whether I come back to it. Also, Tekken 8 just came out, so I'm kind of going ham on that now.
Tekken 8 looks insane.
It's so fun. Really, really good. But yeah, Street Fighter 6 is the best Street Fighter they've made since Third Strike, which is my favorite Street Fighter. So
Cool. Good. You always love to see these classic franchises.
I played Blanca,
finding their feet.
if anyone's wondering.
You played. Oh, okay. Okay. The people who know.
Yeah.
Josh, number 2.
All right. So, anybody remembers, or I'm not a super pro gamer person, right? Most of the games I play are kind of like laid back or like slow for the most part.
I don't know. We call you esports Josh all the time, don't we?
If anyone remembers my Dark Souls 1 stream from forever ago and how I rage quit that, after I played Elden Ring, I went back and played all the Dark Souls games because my brother basically helped me learn how to play the game.
Yeah.
And so my number 2 is also Dark Souls 3.
What?
Whoa,
Dark
go.
Souls 3 on the 2023
Did not
list?
expect that.
Crazy.
It's gonna
Yep.
win overall the most.
It was just a ton of fun. I mean, I like having played all 3 of them kind of back to back. That is my favorite out of them. My brother would kill me because his favorite is Dark Souls 2, but
Same.
I hope he's watching somehow.
I don't think he's watching.
Throughout
I didn't tell him that
You're
we were
safe.
doing this today, so
You're safe.
He'll watch the
Yeah.
mod.
he will.
Yeah.
He can strangle me later.
Yeah. Okay. Damn. I would not have had Dark Souls 3 on my bingo board, especially now so far the most nominated. Okay.
Right. A game that came
No,
out
game
in
that
what
I
year? What year, Sean? Like,
2016.
yeah,
I
that's
think.
so random.
Wow. Okay. Sean.
All
you
right. This
fucking say
game is an indie game. This game was so good, and I couldn't put it at number 1, but it's called Lil Gator Game. It's basically
heard
like
this.
the type of gameplay. It's kind of like Zelda Tears of Breath of the Wild-esque, like how you control your character. But you like play as this little gator who's like a kid, and it's like his imagination. So like all the enemies are like the writing was really good, the movement was really good, and it's only like 4 hours or like to beat. It was just such a good, refreshing, awesome experience, and I would recommend it to like basically everybody.
It's like Banjo-Kazooie-esque, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's just like God, it's just super. It's like such a wholesome, fun little game that was like it's like such a good palate cleanser.
Oh, this was
It was
awesome.
so fun.
It's really interesting to me that this is so high on your list above all these other games
It
you
just
played.
left such a like lasting impression on me for how short it was.
Huh.
Like I'll never play it again, but I just thought it was just so good for what it was.
Sick.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I never heard of that. To the list. Nico, number 2.
So this one actually really surprised me because I hated the first one, but Remnant 2 was fucking awesome. I loved Remnant 2. I've been playing with a couple friends, and it's just Dark Souls with guns. It's awesome. And what's crazy is there's no actual like end to the game. Like you have campaigns that you like finish, and then you re-roll the campaign. You go to a different world, and it has like a random boss chance. It's really interesting. So each time you play it, it's just completely different. And
So it's kind of like a roguelike vibe?
yeah, totally.
Huh.
Yeah. No, I had a great time with it. I definitely want to keep playing it, but yeah, I highly recommend it.
Cool. Yeah, I know that popped off when it came out. Lots of Twitch like multiplayer streams I watched. It looked like just janky enough to be awesome.
Oh, it's the boss fights. The boss fights alone in that game are worth the money. Like I've never had such intense boss fights. Just like when I'm playing with my friends.
Sick.
Right on. All right. The best game of last year.
Yep.
Halo Infinite. Skylar, what was yours?
Well, this is another very short game, just like Before Your Eyes, that I would recommend everyone should play. I had actually, when I first saw the trailer for this game, I was not impressed. I was like, I don't think it looks like it's going to be that good, especially compared to this guy's previous games. I'm like, I'm not so sure. And then more footage came out, and I was like, okay, I'd better play it because I really liked their other games. And turns out, in my opinion, this game maybe has the best sound design of like any game ever made. It also has the best door opening animations of any game ever made. And that game is Cocoon.
I need to play that.
Okay.
Yep.
Cocoon is one of the best designed puzzle games I've ever played. The way the difficulty curve flows in that game, like there are hard puzzles, but you never feel like you're like lost or a puzzle is out of reach for you. Like the curve is perfect. So at every point in the game, you're just like so hype to see what the next puzzle is and how they make like slight adjustments to the mechanics of the game. Yeah, that game was unbelievably good. It's like what Sean said. It's a game I'll never play again, but I think about it all the time. Anytime another game has like a cool animation or a cool sound, I'm just like, dang, if only that was as cool as Cocoon. So
I'll have to play this year.
highly recommend it. It's so good.
Yeah.
Annapurna, right?
It was published
Annapurna.
by Annapurna. It's made by the people who made Limbo and Inside. Also amazing games.
Solid.
Yeah, really, really good.
What do you know? Okay.
Yeah.
That I totally. That's a good example of a game I have a shit ton of respect for, like from a creator standpoint, like a game dev standpoint. I will never play it, but it like is. It's
there was some like puzzle design stuff in that game that were there normally in games where there's like cool puzzles. I'm like, cool, I could have maybe thought of something like that though. This game, there were so many examples of things that I was like, I would have never thought to make that a mechanic or a puzzle in this game, and it like is pulled off perfectly. And I'm like, how did they even think of this shit?
Sweet, cool. Well deserved. They got a lot of good recognition this year. Well deserved, in my opinion, just by watching it. And now Skylar agrees. But what about Josh? Josh, if you say Ghost Runner 2 demo, you're fired. Okay.
What the fuck?
Don't even think
It's
about
forbid.
it. Okay.
Well, shouldn't be no surprise for me. The only wild card really in my deck over here was Dark Souls 3. Number 1 is Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
No surprise. Took everything from Breath of the Wild and just stacked it on top of
Ran
it.
with it.
Dude,
Great
I
game.
played through the whole Sky Island part. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, it's
Wow.
something.
Wow.
I've
I
actually
got
heard.
some-
I've actually heard people say that you could potentially just play Tears of the Kingdom. Like you could just skip Breath of the Wild if
Yeah,
you want
you don't
to.
need to.
It's that much
Yeah.
better than Breath of the Wild, which is
I completely
crazy.
agree.
It also
Dude,
doesn't rely on any story beats from the first
Right.
game.
But yeah, like that's what I read because I was like, wow, now I have to play 2 really long Zelda games. But people are like, no, just like play
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
That's like the only reason I
Just-
haven't played it yet is because I'm still like coming off of Breath of the Wild. I don't want to play that big of a game yet, but I'll get to it for sure.
Yeah, but also like you can ignore most of the map if you've already played Breath of the Wild that you don't want to explore a lot. Like you can just
Right.
beeline to locations.
Interesting.
Bro, I didn't know how to do shit, relatively speaking, to like some of the Twitter clips that I see, but like going up into a fucking rock and then like reversing a rock that was thrown by some big ass pig right back at his fucking face and then firebombing him was the coolest shit ever. Like
Yeah.
I
No,
didn't
that-
get very far, but I just would like replay certain battle sequences in different ways because it's fucking. It's like, oh yeah, okay, here's my stick. I fucking fuse it to this rock. I beat the fuck out of this guy with that, and then I have this bomb I shoot. Like it's sick. It's really cool stuff. I like that.
The sandbox mechanics they're different from the first game, but they're also great. Very you can break things a lot of different ways and build things, which is also a ton of fun.
Yeah, it's
So you
crazy.
see like some of the things that people build in that game are crazy.
It's a game where they were like, let's just. It was crazy to me that like they allowed the creative freedom they did, and I haven't like spoiled myself entirely, but I understand like what's there, and like they clearly were just like, this system can just be super broken, and they're like, we don't care, it's fun, put it in the game, and let's just make
I like
it
it when
as
games
flexible
do
as
that,
possible. Yeah.
Yeah, you can make your own mechas.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody in my house that are gamers. So my 2 kids, Brittany, they play
Everyone but
all the
Anthony,
time.
basically.
Yeah, I mean, I play it a little bit, but like I just don't got time, whatever. And so I get all the highlights. I gotta say, the fucking sounds of those rock boys are so good.
Yeah.
Like the folly adventures those motherfuckers had getting those sounds. I'm jealous. I'm very jealous. He's like, it's good.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay, Sean, number 1. Watch.
All right, so my number one.
No,
So the
it's,
hype
it's
is
a game that
real.
everyone's heard
Everybody
of.
knows, but I have.
Okay.
It's like one of the games I like didn't want to make my number one, but it's Baldur's Gate
You had
3.
to.
The game. I mean,
Okay.
the game was like, I don't know. Just the thing that knocks is like the dialogue and just like the characters' like reactions to what you do. It gives the appearance. Like, you know how like a lot of games that are narrative like that is like you always think like, is the game just like giving me the appearance that I'm like it's like changing with me, but it's really not. But based on like all the community and everything I've heard, it like definitely is. There's people who have like we have a friend. Our friend Dre has like 900 hours in the game, and you still find like quests and like NPCs you missed, and like there's a bunch of endings and like all this crazy stuff. And I don't know what Larian did to bring like D&D 5e mechanics into a video game form, like a very tabletop oriented, and like how they brought, I don't know, however many spells into the game and like made them all the freedom and everything was just insane.
I would say I was watching Dre play like a few weeks ago. It's like his like, I don't know, fucking 12th playthrough or some crazy shit. And I literally watched him figure out like how to kill an enemy he's never understood like how to interact with before in 12 playthroughs that he's seen like in every playthrough, and he just like learned something new. There are very few games where that is a thing.
Right. And I
So
gotta
cool.
play it again sometime, but maybe in a bit. But that game was just I don't know how they made a game like that, like
Yeah,
without
it's crazy.
I ran into like one major bug where I had to reload and lost like an hour of progress because like a quest didn't load, but otherwise that was it.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
scale of that
pretty
game
much.
is like unfathomable.
Yeah. So
After
just- I
reading
don't-
the book of lenses where he talks about how like these games that have options that you can decide and they dynamically change the outcome of different things that happen in the game are really, there are some systems involved, but a lot of times you just got to kind of, it's as if you just built a bunch of linear games next to each other. That's the kind of work you got to do. And I kind of went down the rabbit hole of like the systems you got to build, and that's definitely one where I have a lot of respect.
I just want to like see their dialogue tree, like
how that even
sheet or
works.
whatever the
It's
hell.
crazy.
Or something. Like I don't even know how you keep track of that. But the only last thing I have to say is Lae'zel is better than Shadowheart. So
yeah, you can't make a game like that and not be good at making systems.
Yeah,
so
seriously, Larian is perfected like that style of RPG at this point. So whatever they do next is gonna. I mean, they've set a very high bar.
Yeah, they really did.
I mean, they set such a high bar that AAA game developers came out and said, like, this is too good of a game. People are going to think we have to make good games.
I mean, and they did early access really well.
How dare they?
Doing early access for a game like that is crazy, but it really, you could tell that it really helped them shape the.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad I didn't play it in early access. I'm so glad I waited until the game was complete.
Okay, well, I was going to say, last big question. That big influx of attention, was that after the 1.0 release, right?
Yes.
It wasn't the EA release.
Because it was in EA for like
I had it in
3
early
years or
access.
something.
That's what I thought.
Very long time.
It had a reasonable interest during EA, but the 1.0
it was like the hardcore players, the people.
Mm-hmm. And that's really who they wanted for.
Yeah, they wanted we want the hardcore tabletop D&D, like people that love the genre and they played the shit out of it.
Cool.
And got a bunch of
I was just curious. Okay, cool. Nico, number 1 is.
So I would have Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty up here, but I haven't beaten it. That DLC is incredible.
That's what we call an honorable mention, just for the record, but that's fine.
Right. That would yeah, that's true. But it's gonna be God of War Ragnarok Valhalla, the DLC. I'm pretty sure Ragnarok. Yeah, Ragnarok was on my list last year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And Valhalla is just a completely different loop. Like it's a roguelike mode, but I didn't expect them to actually throw in story into this mode. Like there are moments in the in your runs where you like go way too far into the upper rounds, right? And they like take you back and they have like a full on like story moment with all the characters and like the hub and stuff. And I loved it because it's the actual ending of Ragnarok. They completely just like I believe that they made Ragnarok shorter just because they knew that they were going to release Valhalla in the future. And I just really appreciate that they released it as a free DLC.
I was going to say it was free.
It's insane. And it's at least another like 20, 30 hours. It's great.
Damn. Okay. I didn't realize it was that big. Sweet.
Oh, it's massive.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Can they release Ragnarok on PC now, please? Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Maybe they just didn't want to kill their team to also include the Valhalla.
Could be.
Content. It's like
exactly, yeah.
Let's take that optimistic viewpoint on the situation.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Okay. And on that note, guys, good. That's pretty solid. So one more time, number 1. So in my view, Skylar's was Cocoon.
Correct.
Tears of the Kingdom, Josh. Sean, Baldur's Gate 3. Nico, God of War, Valhalla, Ragnarok, Valhalla.
Yes.
Right?
That's correct.
That's pretty reasonable. I'm going to go with Halo Infinite Content Update 29.
Oh, you're not going to go with Agora like you did last year?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to be honest,
you've actually played a lot less Agora in 2023 than you did. Well, I don't know about that. You got a lot of times. Never mind. I don't think you played a lot less.
I think I've got all of the new dev times on all the levels this year. I think. So.
I had some that I was very proud of, and then Anthony grinded the fuck out of it.
I guess we just have to make more levels.
No, what we have to do is change the levels when we art them, so Anthony's times can't count anymore. And then I can't.
Bro, I'm like, I've gotten such good times on some levels that I'm like trying to now see like how fast I can beat them by like jumping backwards. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we got a new segment coming up, right, Anthony, to round out the podcast?
We do. To round out the best games of the year, I thought we would go off of categories. And yeah, I think some of these are obviously going to be part of the sets, the top 5 and honorable mentions you guys already said, but there could be some that sneak in that, weren't mentioned. So for example, let's start with what was the best game you played that to complete required more than 10 hours?
Okay. I'm not going to count.
Go first.
Well, I'll go first. We can go in the normal order.
Okay.
I'm not going to count multiplayer games for this then.
I think that makes sense.
So That would be Dark Souls 3.
Okay. Josh?
I mean, Tears of the Kingdom took more than 10 hours.
I'm sure it did.
It's easy.
But did you beat Baldur's Gate 3, Sean? Like, actually?
Yeah.
You know, I rolled credits. Yeah.
Okay. You rolled
It took me, so mine is Baldur's Gate 3. And for me, my playtime was 200. It was like 198 hours.
Your first playthrough?
So you played it a little bit.
I played it a little, and I know there was some areas in Act 3 that I skipped on purpose because I thought if I had played too much longer, I would
You were at burnout, at the burnout.
Yeah, I skipped
barricade.
this major quest area that everyone was like, "Oh, you should have done." I'm kind of glad I skipped it because then it'll give me something new to play next time.
True.
But
right.
You are a very Sean is the kind of gamer who tries to do everything on his first playthrough so he doesn't have to go back and play it again.
Yeah, I usually don't
That's fair.
replay games, especially with story, because I go and I'm like, this is the same story, whatever. But
This
we'll
game
see
you
if
could
I
do it,
ever
yeah.
play it again. We'll see.
Cool. I'm dropping Nico, and yours has got to be Valhalla, right? Because you said it was 20 and 30.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that's true, but I wouldn't count that because it's like more of a DLC. And it's like a roguelike. I would say Resident Evil 4 took me just over 10, around like 12, 13 hours. But I believe it was because I did like a higher difficulty, so that's probably it.
There's some of these I'm realizing are not going to be any fun. It's very obvious based off of your answers.
Okay.
So let's get a little bit more spicy. Okay.
Sounds good.
Which game had the best music of all of the games you played last year?
When I go.
Music. So specifically, this is like
Super Castlevania 4.
I'll say if the multiplayer games had some banging shit.
Yeah. No,
you can
multiplayer
count.
games can count for this. I
Yeah,
was just saying the other one was about
I'll
completing.
jump in. Mine's Super Castlevania 4. I mean, all the Castlevania games are
They have
like
such sick
renowned
music.
for they have like some huge bangers, right? And they're like half of the game is kind of like the soundtrack. So Super Castlevania 4, which is the SNES one, has some of the classics and some really, really good songs in it.
Okay.
Mine's Alan Wake 2. Even though I haven't beaten it, the music I've already experienced is so good. There literally is an original song for every chapter of the game that plays at the end of every chapter. Like an original song with lyrics and everything that like relates to the events of the chapter.
Sweet idea. Josh, what about you? Best music.
It's kind of a tough one because I like the music in all these games, but I think that I'm going to give this one to Super Mario Wonder just for the Piranha Plant song.
The Piranha Plant level is like one of the coolest levels ever.
That was freaking great. I appreciate that so much, and it actually does have other like music integrated levels that are really fun. So even though that was not on my list, I will put that there for music.
Yep.
I think the best part of that Piranha Plant level is that if you eat the Piranha Plants, the music goes silent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like different plants that you eat affect the music in different ways
Yeah,
and shit. It's
it's so
crazy.
So mine's probably gonna be Rhythm Sprout. It's this rhythm game where you're playing as this little sprout dude, and all the songs in there are just bangers. And they have like songs from like every genre. My favorite was like the metal songs that are in like the end of the game, and those are just insanely difficult to play. But yeah, Rhythm Sprout.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, the soundtrack I listened to most this year was the Agora soundtrack.
Thanks,
so
Anthony.
Yeah.
The Agora soundtrack is a banger.
It is a banger.
Thanks, Anthony.
Okay. This is it's like for some of you guys, this is kind of a wash. You can just go quick, but best design had the best design.
Cocoon for me.
Yep, I knew that.
Sure.
Knew it would
Oh,
be.
I know. I got one.
Okay.
That's unexpected. It's called Shadows of Doubt.
Oh.
It's basically, it's like a procedurally generated like film noir murder mystery game. I haven't played it in a bit.
I forgot about that game.
I want to check in. I played it for like 60 hours straight or something.
You did. You played so much of it. And I watched a ton of
It's like a
streams
game
of
that's
it,
made
too.
by like one guy, and it's like usually procedural generation in that scope is kind of bad because you can like see the cracks, but he did a really good job.
It's basically like a murder mystery roguelike where it like builds the entire murder mystery for you every time you do one.
Yeah, it's like procedurally like someone kills someone, you like go to the crime scene and like you have to investigate people's like every single person is like procedurally generated. It's really, really cool.
It's crazy. Yeah, I don't understand how that system works at all.
Yeah, no, it's
Okay.
It just needed some more variety, but it
Nice.
was very
Child.
impressive.
Yeah.
Pulling from the depths. Yes. Nice. Okay.
I can't say Baldur's Gate 3 because I mean that just shit's D&D 5e. That just exists.
Yeah, they didn't design that shit. That shit was in a book.
Oh, Nico and Josh, like the siblings they are.
Is
Same
it
pose.
tough one? I think I will give it to Tears of the Kingdom just
Yeah.
because the sandbox, like the design of like the skills and everything, and the way that you can interact with everything was really, really good. And I think mechanically speaking, there isn't really anything else I can think of that really matches that on my list.
Okay. Respectable. What about you, Nico?
Mine's probably gonna be the finals. I like love like the base game mode in that game. Like
Sure.
I've never really played anything like it, and I think it's just super solid.
No, it's interesting they were able to come up with something so unique in such a saturated genre.
Exactly, yeah.
That's very true.
And the fact that like it keeps the same pacing throughout the whole game is surprising to me because it kind of feels like a battle royale game, but it's not. It's just
It's more of an arena shooter game. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's true.
Right on. Okay. Best art. I almost want to start with Nico. See, you guys bubble up that opinion though. We'll go in order still. Okay, Skylar.
I don't care. We don't have to go in order. I need to think for a half second.
Okay, well then let's start with Nico. Nico, hot off the press, best art. Wow, what the fuck? How did that? Oh my gosh.
It's Valhalla. I mean, come on.
Mhm.
Okay.
But it's a beautiful
I
game.
almost bought Ragnarok off the fucking hype of those trailers. I almost bought a
art was
PS5
amazing.
and the thing. It was good. I didn't. I probably wouldn't have even played it,
Yeah, true. You definitely wouldn't have played it.
but it was sick. Yeah.
I mean, I'm playing on a PS4 and it looks insane. I mean, I can't imagine what it looks like on a PS5.
They did good. They did good with the.
It's so good.
Mine's
I got
hard.
mine real quick. For mine. It's different. I'm actually gonna put up Inscription for this one.
You beat that for the first time this year?
It was like one of the first games I beat
Crazy.
this year.
That game's so fucking good.
The first, specifically the first section of the game, I just really enjoy like that in the cabin. It's like creepy and it's hard. You'd have to like look at a video, but it's just unique.
Okay.
And
I was remembering a different game, but I just looked
like
it up.
it fits the theme so well of like what's happening, which I think a lot of games can miss. Right, and you know, it's good. Good art.
Yep, definitely unique. Definitely
Josh?
cool.
I think I'll go with Octopath Traveler for this, just because it has a great art style. It has a lot of kind of nostalgia for like kind of pixel art. Also like the whole like old school Final Fantasy where like the bosses would be like the big and like you'd be little. Like love that. I'll go with Octopath.
Right on.
I think I probably have to go Alan Wake 2, although I still didn't beat it, so this is kind of silly because
Cocoon is cool too.
Cocoon's art is good, but it's not like the best art I've ever seen.
Okay.
When I think best art, it's hard for me to pick such a stylized game because I don't think Cocoon's art style is that unique. Like, definitely the world building is really unique, but the art style is like I've seen that art style before. So
Okay.
Alan Wake is just like from a technological perspective, unbelievable looking. Like literally the first game to force everyone to use DLSS because the art is so good that it can't run without it.
Yeah, Remedy does some shit for sure.
Yeah.
Right. That's a Remedy game, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tune in at the end of 2024 for that to be all over my list again, but that's fine.
People are mad about the DLSS stuff, but I think it's good.
Crazy. That's the future for sure.
I mean, you can get so much more juice out of like older cards and stuff.
And to tell it,
you never can tell the difference. Anyone who says they can is a fucking liar.
After we did our resolution testing for Agora, I learned that like that shit does not matter. Like
no, it doesn't.
Yep.
Oh, resolution
that smooth
testing?
gameplay, baby.
Almost like we're going to ship with Lumen or something. What the fuck? Oh my gosh! Why would resolution matter? Ooh.
Saying too much.
Spoilers.
We're going to.
No one cares about Lumen, but us.
No one gives a fuck. Yeah. No one gives a fuck.
No, probably Liam. Liam's the only one that gives.
Oh yeah, Liam would care.
You guys running that shit in interior environments at 60 FPS? Fuck yeah, we are. Okay. So best multiplayer game. For some of you,
I don't
maybe
think
more
I put
obvious.
I never put
Like,
any multiplayer games
Josh
on
doesn't
my
even
list.
fucking play
One second.
multiplayer. He's gonna say
I want to know what Josh
Legends.
says.
Yeah.
Mine's Street Fighter, although if it's more
Yeah.
than 2 people, Lethal Company. I mean, just from my list,
Mm-hmm.
obvious.
I'd say Lethal Company.
Yeah.
I played Lethal
Josh.
Company.
So good.
Cultured
Twice.
than I thought. Okay. Nico? Oh, sorry.
I would say
Sean,
finals.
whatever.
Oh.
Whatever. Finals.
I would say finals, but I'm giving it to Lethal Company though.
Okay.
It's Lethal
Just
Company.
because it's a single developer. I got it. Yeah, I got
Let's
it.
Oh, wait,
go,
actually,
Lethal
Smite
Company.
might. No, I'm just kidding.
Sean, wait, Sean, I have another question for Sean, though, because one of Sean's most played games of the year is not on any of these lists.
What was
Really?
it?
Counter-Strike 2.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah, it is Counter Strike. The thing is like I don't put those games on because I don't I guess I don't really consider them as like games, like in a way.
dare
Like,
you.
so
It's not a
different from,
game.
like-
It's a way of life.
Yeah, what the hell?
it's not a
Arguably
game.
the hardest genre.
No, Counter Strike. Yeah, Counter Strike 2
shooters.
is. I don't just love that kind of shooter because it's just like the satisfaction when you kill people is like so much higher than like any other game
That's
besides
true.
like Valorant, which is the same type of game. It's hard to.
Well,
when
I'm
you kill
curious.
someone, it's like most of the time it's because you're like good. You're
Okay,
better
you
than
have to
them.
decide between one or the other. The other one gets erased. You can never play it again. Valorant or CSO 2.
I pick Valorant, and Sean probably
So-
picks. I
I
don't
would
know.
pick Counter Strike. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Skylar's more of a strategy head, which
Yeah.
Counter Strike doesn't have as much of.
Valorant has a lot more macro strategy than Counter-Strike, but the like micro gameplay in Counter-Strike is usually considered more difficult.
Counter Strike is trigger finger.
Do the other two have opinions, Nico and Josh, on that? Do you guys play
No.
those?
I have
No.
Yeah.
played Valorant twice. I have never played Counter Strike.
There you go.
I spawned into Valorant and I tried to run and shoot and
Yeah.
it fucking went everywhere. I'm like, okay, F4.
You're like,
I'll
this is too
F4.
realistic. I
I
can't
didn't
play
fucking
this.
Halo
shit.
player.
Yeah.
Also, Counter Strike 2 also gets an honorable mention for the most toxic gaming community
True.
for an online game.
True.
Yeah, wait,
Are
did
you
say
sure
CS2?
about that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
CS2 is the game that
It's
I've gotten
so
called
bad.
the most like slurs and
Oh
stuff.
my
in.
god, it's so
horrible.
bad. We see like people with like Holocaust jokes in their Steam profiles
okay,
all
okay.
the time.
That's a Steam thing, right? Yeah, I mean, Riot
But
definitely.
those are
and
the
then
people
also
playing
yeah.
Counter Strike. It's not like they're playing other games, you know.
Yeah, that's just. But you know, that's okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, okay.
next.
Right on. One that I don't know if all of you have an answer for that I wanted to know is the best game that you played in 2023 that you beat in 4 hours or less.
Little Gator game.
Before your
Yeah,
eyes, for me.
Yeah, before your eyes.
Little Gator game.
Gator game. Okay.
Those are on our list.
The other two, did you guys do anything? You guys?
4
Yeah.
hours or less. I need to check my Steam to see how
Infernax
many
was
hours
also-
games took me to
maybe that
beat.
was like 6.
Yeah,
How
Cocoon.
many
Oh wait,
hours?
no, sorry, not Before Your Eyes. Cocoon would win because Cocoon is higher on the list and it's also
Okay,
less than
okay.
4 hours. Just kidding.
Okay.
Hey, is it less than 4 hours for Cocoon?
Yeah, yeah.
Nope, that's 11
I've
hours.
come to appreciate shorter
Cocoon
games
took
too.
me. Oh, I have 4.1 hours in Cocoon, and I did a tiny bit of extra stuff. So
Disqualified.
Fucked.
All right, I beat Viewfinder in 3.7
Oh,
hours.
dude.
There we go.
I liked Viewfinder.
Yep.
It was
I
very
think that
close
might
to my
also
honorable.
be-
Didn't see it in any lists.
That might be the shortest game I've played this year.
Based off of what you guys said, I thought maybe honorable mention, but
No, I mean,
It'd
for
It'd be interesting to calculate for next year, like playtime stuff, get some like more metrics or something.
yeah,
but-
for confusing design and how the fuck did they implement this, Viewfinder definitely is up there
Wins.
as well.
It did have impressive.
Like, what the hell?
The mechanics were like very trippy.
Yeah,
Nico,
for make your brain
Rhythm
hurt.
Sprout.
Sprout.
Rhythm Sprout.
Yeah.
Rhythm Sprout was exactly 4 hours.
There you go.
Look at that.
Okay, this
Good
is
game.
so far my last one.
Okay, I got one for after this.
Okay, this is only one person I know their answer. What game made you the most emotional?
Okay, Before Your Eyes for me.
That was the one I knew.
Yeah, of course. I said it in my thing.
Oh, actually, I do have one more. Sorry, that was
Okay.
This is second to last.
Let me
Yeah.
do mine, and then we'll save yours for the end.
Okay.
Mine's not that
Yeah,
exciting.
mine was still Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
I like a propensity with RPGs like that, like even The Witcher, where I like fall in love with the ending I get, and I think that goes to say it's like such a really good game because like I think I would, like I know if I played that game again, I'm gonna wanna like kind of do the same thing because I really enjoyed it.
Even though,
And
like, the point of a second playthrough would be to do
like do
different
something
stuff.
else, but I'd be
Yeah.
like, I want to romance the same character, and I like want to do this because it was a good thing. But yeah, that game was the ending. The ending of that game is actually really good.
Cool.
Some good.
Okay.
Well,
Good.
maybe if you're not an evil character or something. But
Nico
Okay.
and Josh?
I don't have one.
No game made you
you don't get
emotional?
Wow, he's a
I don't know.
soulless.
Nico,
just
he's
played
playing
this
games like
machine.
I didn't play that many games. I mean, I would probably say like Last of Us 2, but I had that my last thing.
Wait,
Okay.
Skylar, you didn't get emotional from the gripping story of Dark Souls 3?
No.
But I mean,
Heartless
emotion,
machine.
guys, the emotional spectrum goes
Yeah,
beyond.
you can
line.
get angry. Like the finals, if you get pissed,
Okay,
can make
finals.
you.
Yeah,
Uh,
finals makes me
Rage.
pissed, especially when I see a guy with a riot shield or the guy like a tank with like 2 healers on him. Like fuck that. Like, I get so
Okay,
pissed.
yeah, fuck.
There you go.
All right, can I use a DLC for
The
mine?
finals.
Yes.
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 All right. Xenoblade 3 Future Redeem DLC. Go with
Okay.
that.
Dude, I was waiting
Yeah.
for
Xenoblade's
Xenoblade
cool.
on here.
That was
the
on your
longest
bingo
one.
card?
Xenoblade was last year. Xenoblade was last year. The DLC came out this year. But the Xenoblade 3 was last year, so I didn't want to put it on the list because it's technically a game that I played last year, but the DLC is a separate game kind of, so
All right, here's mine. The
I get so emotional every other fucking Rocket League
Oh my
game.
God.
It's unbelievable.
We know, Anthony. We've
My
seen the
stupid
Twitch
fucking
clips.
friends. Yeah, dude. Oh my god. The solo queuing on Rocket League is like purgatory. Like that is the worst shit. Anyway, that's me.
Great. My question is best food in a video game this year. My answer is the new WarioWare game. WarioWare games always have a sick mini game with food in them. It definitely doesn't rival the one from the last WarioWare where you're cooking that cube of steak that you like turn, but it has WarioWare games always have like sick food in
So
their
I got to
games.
do a shout out, honorable mention for Castlevania because Castlevania has floor chicken.
Oh yes, true, important.
But the actual one is the cop out is Dave the Diver.
Yeah, that's what
Because
I
it actually
figured
has-
would be.
it has some really
good.
The chef, when he makes certain sushis, it like does like this anime style like thing of him like flipping the ingredients and going like
flying up.
and like the fish is there and it's like all sparkling and shit. They're actually really awesome. And all the food, it like makes you want to eat sushi because
Also like the mini games involved with the food, like pouring the tea for everyone. I think that's
yeah,
so
you have to
fun.
like pour the tea and you have to like
Or washing
stir
the
it
dishes and stuff, yeah.
or whatever. Yeah,
That's cool.
You know what is actually a meme at my house is that I get pissed at the fucking Tears of the Kingdom food cooking sound. The one that's like,
Oh, like boom, chicka chow,
yeah. I'm like, shut the fuck up! Like, turn that shit down. Like, I don't know what it is about that sound drives me nuts.
yeah, I think that might be the only game that has food in it that I've played, so I think that's gonna be
Yeah.
mine.
There you go.
Oh, Monster Hunter
dubious
World.
food.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Dubious food, delicious, love it.
What do
It's
you got,
also
Ant?
the horse.
Half a heart.
It's when you get on the horse, right? That's like doo 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 doo.
We're talking about,
Yeah,
we're talking
like
about
the stable.
food, Anthony,
Your
not
stable.
sound.
That's the stable. That's the stable.
stable.
Yeah.
Okay. My last question was.
Most annoying game of the
Yes,
year.
that
Yeah.
shit.
Oh wait, I have another one. After
Okay,
you.
go again.
No, I have a good last one.
Okay, well, my last one was right now. Somebody comes up to you and says, "I need to buy a game. You have to tell me which one it is." What do you tell them? Which may not be on this list.
If they like multiplayer, Lethal Company. If they don't, Cocoon.
Okay. Yeah, you have to kind of take everything into
cool.
account.
Yeah.
It's like
I think for me, it's still Little Gator Games, the game that I just throw at people because I think it's like it's extremely accessible. Like it fits like the widest variety of gamer.
Yeah, I guess you're actually. I would probably say Before Your Eyes over Cocoon. It's more accessible.
Yeah, and it's like and it's short and it's cheaper than.
Yeah.
Like Baldur's Gate is not a
That's
game
fair.
I could recommend to like most people.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, this is tough.
Yeah, Josh is. This is definitely hard for Josh. Josh doesn't play very many accessible
Yeah.
games.
Accessible game.
Nico's got a lot of.
Come back to me in a second.
Nico, what do you
Still
say?
plays that, Yeah.
Returnal. Returnal is like
Okay.
I feel like Returnal is underrated. I didn't
I
hear
think
much
so,
about
too.
it.
I think
And-
so too.
It's just incredible. Like
I think it's because of the. I don't know. Yeah.
Does it
'cause I
have?
played
Does it
it.
have a first-person mode? Yep.
no,
Fuck,
no, it's
dude.
just
I
it's
wish
third person, but it has co-op. It has
Does it have
co-op,
co-op?
and
Oh, fuck.
yeah, it has full-on co-op, and throughout the whole campaign. Like it's pretty crazy.
People should buy Returnal just for the pause menu. and the options is very good.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
you didn't used to be able to
Bench.
pause when it first came out.
Yeah, well,
Really?
you can't suspend.
Well,
You have to
They
suspend.
added it so that because people
Yeah.
were getting
They
fucking
told people
pissed.
they were like, put your
That's
PlayStation
crazy.
in rest mode to suspend your runs.
oh
Everyone was
yeah,
like,
I
"Are you
remember
fucking
that.
kidding
Yeah,
me?"
that's bullshit.
But
But,
that was like the first thing they fixed.
No, I remember texting Sean when I first got it. I was like, Sean, have you
Because
played
the
this?
runs
He's like, I haven't played it since-
are like surprisingly long, like for when
Yeah.
you think of a
Right,
roguelike,
so they're like,
which is
leave your
fine,
console
but
on
it's
for
like,
2 hours
No,
or whatever.
They're like, a run is like 1 to 2 hours. It's pretty
Yeah.
insane.
yeah, so I'm saying pause menu, but I'm probably thinking of the options menu, and they had this like
Accessibility.
benchmarking thing that you could run that like profiled what. Yeah, that
Oh, I
like
love games with good benchmark tools. like that.
auto tuned
That's good.
like your best optimal settings. That was sick.
Also,
Josh?
the particle effects alone that game.
Yeah, Josh, did you?
I'd go with Tears of the Kingdom just
Sure.
because I don't have any option that's more accessible than
fair.
that one.
Damn.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, here's mine. You ready? And Anthony is even allowed to answer this one. This
Wow.
is game you played that you played before. So game that's not 2023 that you still like loved and played a lot of this year.
Yeah, it's Halo Infinite. I found a new love for grinding ranked this year.
Interesting.
Grinding is a loose term. I don't play it like probably when people think grinding, they think like multiple hours, but like 3 games in a row is grinding for me. Okay.
Damn.
So like, you know, I'll play, sometimes I'll even get crazy and play 5, you know, I
That's
stick
like
to like
45 minutes.
1, 3, 5. Yeah. 45 minutes to an hour. But like, man, after an hour, I'm like, fuck, dude, there's money to be made around here. What's happening? So like Halo Infinite though I will say, and Sean kind of like reaffirmed that a little bit. I feel like they fucking should have shipped like this and it would have been great because right now it's
Yeah.
great.
Sad.
There's a lot of
It's I mean, for anyone listening. I mean, Halo Infinite, like the multiplayer is still free, and it's in the best state it's been since it came out. It has like the most map variety, all these new maps, and like the game. Because when I think of Halo, it's like all about like I love like some ranked Halo, but it's like all about playing like a good variety of like random game modes, like all this random stuff, and Griffball and all that stuff, and that's all in there now with Forge.
Mine is, and so this isn't the one I played the most that I had previous playtime of. That would probably be games at the arcade. It would probably be U-Beat. Actually, I should probably say U-Beat. I was gonna say Battle Right, but it's U-Beat, which is a game I play at the arcade. This year, I've hit my goal of reaching 7,000 skill level, which took fucking forever. It took like 2+ years to do.
is
Since
skill level a skill thing.
yeah,
or
it's
an
your
XP thing?
utility. No, it's based on your 60 best scores in the game.
Sick.
I'm now ranked 11th or 12th on the US leaderboard.
Damn, 11th or 12th in UB. Damn,
Wow.
shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So
They give you a shirt or something? We'll make you a shirt.
No.
Shit.
So, well, the stupidest part of that is that the person who's ranked second on the leaderboard also goes to fucking Akihabara. So, like, I'm not even the best
They-
at Akihabara
they
because they
stole your
moved. They
thunder.
moved here this past year, and then we're like, oh, by the way, I own
Just
UB
to
at home, but
fuck
I'm gonna
you up.
count my arcade as Akihabara. But they have a home machine. I count that as cheating. So. It's fine. But yeah, so it's definitely a U-Beat. If you guys ever have the opportunity to play, it's JUBEAT. It's, in my opinion, like
So
the most fun rhythm game ever
I
played.
played it too. It's so fun.
And
It's a good
insanely
rhythm game.
accessible. Anyone could just pick it up and play because you just
Isn't
hit
that the
buttons.
one we got a clip of you of?
That's not the washing machine looking one. That's the one with the
Okay.
buttons that you press as they light up.
Okay.
Yep. Josh?
Mine, if we're going on like played a ton,
Or just really like.
well, also really like, so in terms of games that I like go back to, there's really 2, right? There's League of Legends, which is not going to be recommended ever, and there's Europa Universalis 4, which I love that game. It was on my Game of the Year list last year. It gets consistent like updates. DLC comes out every few months or so. Supposedly coming towards the end of its life cycle, but who knows? People, I mean, it's not a new game, so I mean, fair enough if they come up with Europa Universalis 5, but it's hard to compete when your
Is
previous
that a Paradox
game.
game?
It is a Paradox game. It is great. I played less this year than last year just because I've had less time and I've been trying to diversify my game pool a little
Your
bit.
gaming portfolio.
Exactly. But it is definitely solid if you like that style of like what do you call it? It's not really 4X. It's more like
it's 4X.
It's 4X. Yeah, it's 4X.
I always call those games just grand strategy, but
Grand strategy is
Like
it's a
Anthem?
better descriptor.
It's really just a paradox game.
It's a paradox game, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they make the style of game.
Yep.
Did you even have a Western Studios title on your list, Mister? I'm trying to diversify. Holy cow!
Paradox is a Western.
Paradox is-
Wait, if we're looking at my.
No, Paradox is European,
year?
right?
oh, they are.
I'm just giving you shit,
Yeah.
dude. I don't give a fuck.
Anyway,
They
Nico,
make
answer.
I'm not
good
looking
shit
at it.
over there.
Actually, there isn't, but I have played games that are by Western Studios. They just didn't make the list.
Nico, what's up?
We'll get on there.
Mine's probably gonna be Cyberpunk. I was actually surprised playing it again this year because I played it when it first came out and I dumped 40 hours and didn't even beat the story. And I played it again after the 2.0 update, and I feel like they completely
that's
changed
right.
it. And the combat, it just felt so good. And this time I went a different build, having a lot more fun this time around. And then I also picked up the Phantom Liberty DLC, so that's also the reason why I'm just like keep playing it. Because I guess the Phantom Liberty adds like 3 new endings to the game.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Speaking of
Also-
games that should have been released a year later.
I know that.
Right.
I was just thinking the same thing. I feel so
Yeah.
bad for that team because
Yeah.
that shit was so like cool.
Oh,
that could have been
especially
like,
coming off of
monumental.
Witcher 3.
Yeah.
The game's incredible now. I actually didn't really even run into any glitches when playing the 2.0 version. And I just had a blast doing the throwing knife build. I've just been like, that's just been my thing the whole game.
Yeah, I'm really
I
excited
hear
to go
you.
back and play. I beat the story when it first came out and haven't played since any of the updates, or like I literally beat it
Yeah.
before like the first fix update came out. So
Yeah.
like I
I tried
haven't
to play it,
experienced
but-
none of the new shit. I'm so excited when
You
I
could
get
also-
back into it.
You can also like respec whenever you want, so you can always try new builds. It's great. I love
That's
it.
sick. All right. I think that's it for
Wait,
us.
what about me?
Oh wait, Sean, sorry.
Did we not?
My bad.
Oh, my bad.
Mine,
Yeah.
okay, mine's a game I played, and then this year I've started playing it a lot, and it's probably a game that I will play the majority of this year, and it's just shout out to Binding of Isaac.
Yeah, I didn't play it in 2023.
I've been playing a fuck ton. Every time you look at his Discord stats, it's buying.
That's a 2024 game for me, but I think I've played like 100 hours in 2024 already of that game.
Already. It's
The
only been a
game,
month.
like the amount of content it has, just. I mean, like when I first started playing it, I just like couldn't get into it, and then for whatever reason, whenever I started playing in 2023, I really got into it and like figured it out or whatever. And it's been good.
It's hard to consider when you beat it. The reason but I finally unlocked all the endings, so I'm considering that I beat it by unlocking all the endings in 2024. So
Well, that's true. Yeah, 'cause
Tune in
beating it
at the
first
end of
time
the
doesn't
year.
Really count. Yeah.
but that game's unbelievable. If you want to play a roguelike that like will blow your mind and you're okay with poop being in your games, play Binding of Isaac.
Okay, it's cute.
Oh yeah, Binding of Isaac's amazing.
Dude, poop. Okay, well, right on. I think we're good.
Wrap it up. Thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah, for those who are listening, this is not necessarily the true reemergence of KO Koala in our content production capabilities. That's coming later this year. It's coming sometime later this year.
Tune in.
Need to get past. I will regurgitate what we've said to the people in the Discord for those who are listening to this later. We are basically heads down developing this thing, developing Agora, getting it past certain development milestones so that we can really put the time and effort we need to into content creation, marketing the frickin' game and all that stuff so that we can one day get closer to the fantastic future that is us quitting our full-time jobs and doing this full-time and making cool shit full-time and making something that Josh would put on his list.
There you go. And in KO Koala Quality Time tradition, Anthony, where can people find us?
You can find us at kokoalaentertainment.com. There you have links to all of our social media, which we don't post shit on right now. But if you want to follow us and, be notified as soon as we do start posting again, that's the place to do it. We most of all, though, recommend joining the Discord. We're always active there. We never go away from there. And we talk about it. We talk to all of the good people, especially those here in the stream and all that stuff there. So Yep.
Sweet. Thank you, everyone,
Boom.
for listening, and tune in soon for us to be back.
Back. Consistent happiness. Man, I'm gonna need that game ASAP. We're going.
If you want to shit talk any of our game of the year opinions, we're in the Discord. So
Yeah, true.
Yeah, Sean
You
would
can-
actually
you
love
can
to
roast
like
us
talk
all.
about it.
I can talk about games for like ever.
Forever.
Like actually what I do the majority of my time is talk about games in Discord with people.
Right on, guys.
All right.
Until next time.
See you guys later.
See you.
Later.